Alright, so we have our server set up for socket.io. Now we want to start to create our Angular components. So let's go into the app folder and let's create a folder here called components, and then inside there we'll have a folder called chat, and then in there we're going to have a file called chat.component.ts and also chat.component.html, which will be the view. Alright, and then what we'll do is copy what we have in the app component ts file, paste that in there. I'm going to make this a little wider, and we're going to change this right here to chat, and then template URL, that'll be chat.component.html, and we just need to add the module ID right here. Alright, and then down here let's change it to chat component. Okay, we'll save that. In the chat HTML, I'm just going to put in chat for now and save. And then in the app.component.ts file, we need to import that component. Alright, and then we're going to add it as a directive. Actually, we don't want quotes. Chat component, and let's also give this a template URL, and this will be app.component.html, and then we'll have to create that. Alright, and in here we're just going to put in our chat directive and save. Alright, now let's see, down here we have failure to load app.component. Let's see. Oh, we just need to add the module ID. Alright, so now we have our chat component showing. So let's go to our component HTML, and we're going to put in a form right here. And actually we don't even need the form tag, we'll just put the input. Okay, so this is going to be text, and let's see, let's put a placeholder. We'll just say enter message. Alright, and let's give this an ng model. Actually, that needs to have parentheses too. So the ng model is going to be message. Okay, we also want to add a name equals message. Okay, that's our input. Then let's put a line break. Alright, and let's just leave it at that for now. Okay, so there's our input. Don't worry about what it looks like, we'll take care of that later. Now in the chat component TS, we're going to go in the class here, and let's create a property called messages, which will represent all of our messages, and we'll just say any and set that to an empty array. And then message is going to represent that message we're adding, and that's going to be a string. Okay, and let's add a constructor. And we're going to have a function called send message. And for now, I just want to console.log this.message. Alright, so let's save that. And back in the HTML, we want to put an event handler here. So let's say key up, because we want it to be when we press enter. So key up.enter, and we'll say send message. Alright, so if I enter something here and click enter, you can see down here it's now console logging whatever I enter, and that's coming from here. So next thing we want to do is create the service, our chat service. So we're going to create a folder, not inside components. We want to be just in the app folder. And this will be services. And we'll create a file called chat.service.ts. Okay, and we're going to use something called subject. And that's from the reactive extensions. So we want to say import subject from rxjs/subject. And we're going to use an observable as well. So we want to import observable. Alright, then we'll create the class chat service. And let's see. We want to set the URL, so private URL, and we're going to set that to HTTP localhost, and that's going to be port 8000, which is our server. Okay, we're also going to create a private property called socket, and I'm going to just set that to any. Now we're also going to have to import the socket.io client. But before we do that, the way that we're going to implement this is we're going to download it. We're going to download the socket.io.js file. I don't think if we click this download, let's see. Yeah, I don't see like a button to actually grab the file because we're just going to include it like this in our script. But I don't want to use a CDN. I want to download the file. So let's actually grab this link right here. Alright, and then what we'll do is just copy all this. And then I'm going to go into, let's see, the root, not the app folder. We want to be in the root. And I'm going to create a folder called vendor. And let's see, inside there we're going to have another folder. And we're going to call this socket.io-client. And then inside there we'll create a file called socket.io.js. Alright, and then we're going to paste all that stuff in there and save it. Alright, and then we'll go to our index.html, and let's go right here. Oops. And we'll put in our script tag, source. Okay, and then here we'll say vendor slash socket.io-client slash socket.io.js. Save that. And then what we need to do is add this to our systemjs.config file. Alright, just like we did with Angular and reactive extensions. Well, we didn't do it, the Quick Start did it. So we're going to put a comma right here, and on the next line, socket.io-client, and we want to map it to vendor slash socket.io-client. Alright, and then down here in packages, we're also going to add it. So let's go right here. Client. Alright, and then in here, let's say main. Socket.io.js. Alright, so this is just so we can import it. And that should be it, so let's save that. And then let's go to our service. And we're going to go up here and say import. And what we want to do is import star as IO from socket.io-client. Alright, that should do it. Now it says it doesn't see the module. Let's see. Let's go back to system.js config. Let's try, yeah, because that looks good. Let's try installing it through npm as well. So we want to be not in the server, let that run, but over here let's stop this and we'll say npm install save socket.io-client. Alright, and then let's run npm start. Let's see, what's this? Cannot find module socket.io client. Oh, you know what? We need to install the typings. That's what it is. So we should be able to say typings install. You want to use the tilde character, which is to the left of the 1 key. Actually, no, we want to do dt tilde socket.io-client. Okay, and then we just want to add --save and --global. There we go. Alright, so now let's try to run npm start. And now it should work. Alright, so our application is now running and we're not getting any errors. When I first created this application, that kind of threw me through a loop and took me a couple hours to figure out actually. Alright, so the bottom line is make sure you include it in your index.html, you put it in the vendor folder, and you add it to your system.js.config file, and then install the typings. Okay, so it's kind of a pain to get set up, but we should be all set now. Alright, so I'm going to stop it here, and then in the next video we're going to make it so that we can interact with our server, with our socket.io through our service. Okay, we want to create the send message function and also the get messages function. Alright, so I will see you then.